Hey Lions Nation, we're back with another exclusive video bringing you all the latest news about our beloved Detroit Lions. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss anything about the team. Now let's get into the news. The NFL world woke up to chaos. It wasn't a rumor, it wasn't speculation, it was confirmed by ESPN. The Green Bay Packers have been hit with one of the most shocking punishments in recent memory. And in a single announcement, the entire balance of power in the NFC North shifted. The Detroit Lions, a team built on grit and heartbreak, now stand at the top. For years they've been climbing, scratching, fighting for respect, and tonight, destiny just tilted in their favor. When the news dropped, it hit like thunder. Phones buzzed, headlines screamed, and fans across the nation froze. The league office had delivered its verdict, and the Packers' season, once filled with promise, was suddenly stained by controversy. Violations, irregularities, a rule broken in the shadows, now exposed under the blinding light of national attention. ESPN confirmed the sanctions, and the ripple tore through every sports show, every podcast, every locker room. Detroit didn't move a muscle at first. They didn't celebrate, didn't post, didn't gloat. But deep inside the facility, behind closed doors, there was a silent understanding. The tables had turned. All those nights of near misses, all those heartbreaking losses, all those seasons ending one game short. Now, fate had opened a door. The Lions were in the driver's seat. In Green Bay, silence fell heavy. You could feel the tension hanging over Lambeau Field like a fog. Players who thought they'd be marching toward another division crown suddenly found themselves answering questions no athlete ever wants to face. What happened? Who knew? And more importantly, can they recover from this? The punishment wasn't just a fine or a slap on the wrist. It came with consequences that hurt where it matters most, the standings. The Packers were stripped of key wins. The record that once kept them above Detroit was rewritten overnight. The NFL had drawn a line. The message was clear: no one is untouchable, not even Green Bay. And as the smoke settled, the Detroit Lions were officially elevated to first place. ESPN analysts tried to soften it, technically, on paper, for now. But those words didn't matter to the fans in Michigan. They'd waited too long, suffered too much, to care about semantics. For them, this wasn't luck. It was justice. Dan Campbell's players heard the news mid-training session. Some didn't believe it at first. Others paused, glanced at one another, and then the weight of it hit. They were leading the division. After all the doubters, all the jokes, all the decades of being the NFL's punchline, the Detroit Lions were finally number one. But this isn't a fairy tale. The tone in Detroit wasn't celebration, it was focus. You could feel it in the air, that cold, determined energy that comes when opportunity meets preparation. The Lions didn't ask for this break, but they were ready to take it. And in that readiness lies the difference between good teams and great ones. Across the league, social media exploded. Rival fans cried foul. Packers loyalists called it an overreaction. Some analysts whispered that the punishment was too severe, that the league was making an example out of a dynasty. But inside the NFL offices, the documents told a different story, a pattern of violations too bold to ignore. Whatever happened behind those walls, it was enough to shake the entire foundation of Green Bay's season. And while the Packers scrambled for answers, the Lions prepared for war. Jared Goff, calm and unbothered, reportedly told his teammates, "This changes nothing. We still earn it on the field." Aiden Hutchinson, his eyes locked on the practice field, said quietly, "We're taking everything they said we couldn't." That's the spirit of Detroit, forged in struggle, baptized in failure, reborn through grit. This isn't the Lions of the past. This is a new era. An era where every headline, every controversy, every storm just fuels the fire. And yet, somewhere deep in Wisconsin, the reaction was the opposite. Shock turned to anger. Anger turned to disbelief. How could one decision erase months of effort? How could one punishment undo a legacy? The truth is, this wasn't just about rules. It was about accountability. It was about the message the league wanted to send, that no matter how bright your history shines, you still answer for your choices. The punishment hit hard. Fines, suspensions, loss of draft positioning. But it was the standings hit that hurt the most. Overnight, Detroit's name climbed to the top of the NFC North chart. Bold, undeniable, official. And when that graphic flashed across ESPN, with Lions, first place written in blue and silver, it felt surreal. Fans across Detroit screamed. Bars erupted. Streets filled with horns and flags. For a city that's been waiting decades for a reason to believe, this moment was electric. Inside the Lions facility, Dan Campbell gathered his team. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't smile. He just looked at them and said, "Now, let's prove we belong here." Because that's the truth. A gift means nothing if you don't defend it. And the Lions know that better than anyone. They've been handed heartbreak before. But this time, they're holding the pen. They're writing their own story. Before we move on, take a second to drop a like and subscribe. That way, you'll stay up to date with every exclusive Lions update. And you'll even have a chance to win an official Detroit Lions jersey. Let's keep going. As ESPN's breaking coverage continued, analysts dissected every angle. Some blamed the front office. Some questioned the NFL's motives. But one thing was clear. The balance of the NFC North had changed. The division that once belonged to Green Bay now had a new king. And Detroit, that city of factories and fight, finally had its moment in the sun. But beneath that victory lies something deeper, fear. Because the Lions, already dangerous, now have something even more powerful than momentum, belief. Belief that destiny might actually be on their side. And when a team like that starts to believe, they become unstoppable. Calais Campbell, newly arrived and still adjusting to his locker, was asked about the news. He simply smiled and said, "The job just got bigger." Those words echoed through the building. Bigger, not easier. Bigger, because now, every rival will come for them. Every opponent will circle the Lions on their calendar. Everyone will want to see if Detroit can hold the crown or if it will slip away as quickly as it came. But something tells you this time is different. There's a weight to this team that feels unshakable. The energy is real. The hunger is visible. You can feel it in the way they practice, the way they talk, the way they look at each other after every rep. They're not playing for respect anymore. They're playing for history. Meanwhile, in Green Bay, the fallout continues. The press conferences are tense, the locker room fractured. Veterans try to calm the storm, but the damage is done. The whispers won't stop. The reputation that took decades to build now faces its toughest test. As for Detroit, they march forward. Every play, every down, every snap now carries the weight of expectation. But maybe that's exactly what they've always needed. Pressure, adversity, doubt. Because this team doesn't run from it, they thrive on it. The punishment may have been handed to the Packers, but it lit a fire under the Lions. A fire that's burning through the league with quiet, ruthless intent. They're not just trying to win games. They're trying to change the narrative, to erase decades of frustration and replace it with dominance. Every fan who wore Honolulu blue through the losing years, every voice that cheered through heartbreak, every believer who said, "Maybe next season," this moment is for them. So, as ESPN's cameras pan across Detroit and the lights of Ford Field glow brighter than ever, one truth becomes clear. The Lions didn't ask for this gift, but they'll make sure the world remembers what they did with it. Because in this league, chances don't come twice. And Detroit finally got theirs. The Packers have fallen. The Lions rise. The NFC North has a new order. And the roar of Detroit is just beginning. We bring you the latest Lions news every single day. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. And of course, drop a comment below with your thoughts on today's news. Your voice makes a difference for Lions Nation. See you in the next video.